Hello, welcome to Central Florida Salute. Once again, we're in Tavares at the Osprey Lodge, and I have another Air Force veteran with me, Dan Williams. Welcome to the show, Dan.
Thank you, sir.
It's good to see you. Tell me a little bit about yourself. Where did you grow up?
I grew up, I was born in Muskegon, Michigan.
Michigan.
In Michigan, and lived there most of my life until after high school. And then I went to Boston University.
Boston?
Boston.
Oh, where'd you go? What were you taking up in Boston?
Well, it was just general subject material. I didn't have a major at the time because I didn't know what I wanted to do.
I still don't know what I want to do.
Well, I'm figuring it out.
I'm running out of time now.
There you go. Yeah.
So how long were you at the Boston University?
Well, actually, it was when I left home. I went into the service, and then I'm ahead of myself here. But
Oh, well, you went to the service?
yeah,
Then you went to Boston, but did you go to Boston while you were in the service or after the service?
while I was in the service.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that's
So
a little mixed up.
you joined the Air Force.
Yeah.
Why the Air Force?
Why the Air Force? I had a couple of relatives that were in the Air Force, and also, when I was a kid, I used to make paper airplanes.
Yeah.
I was really into
I did too. I got in trouble in school with that.
Yeah, well, yeah, that'll get you in trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so that's how I got interested in it.
So what year did you go in the Air Force?
It was 1960, right after I got out of high school, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming you went to Lackland, right?
Yes, I did.
Yeah. We all go there.
And one of the things is a kind of a cute story, if you don't mind me telling.
I know,
It's
no.
just short. At basic training, you got to go in and stand and look straight forward,
Yeah,
and hold your tray, And he said, no, you can't look to the left or the right, just go through. And of course, I'm one of these, I'm looking all around, So they come up and said, okay, Williams, hit the road. Take about 2 miles around the track here, and then you can come back and have your breakfast. So, anyway,
I
I had a
remember.
tough time going through.
Yeah, well, it's a whole different change of life,
Oh, it is.
You got to get regimented, and
That's right.
they bring you down so they can build you up.
That's right.
That's kind of what the service does.
Exactly. And they
And
do a good job.
I remember my basic training too. Yeah,
Yeah.
we all have certain memories of
Little
that.
stories, yeah.
Yeah. So you went to basic, then you filled out your dream sheet, or right,
Yeah,
about where you wanted to go.
yeah.
Where did you want to go?
I actually wanted to go and be stationed over in Italy.
And where did they send you?
Guess what?
North Dakota?
They sent me to North Dakota. Yeah.
They did?
Yeah. No, South Dakota.
Oh, South Dakota.
Ellsworth Air Force Base, South Dakota.
Oh, okay. I was only kidding, 'cause
I know. Yeah.
They used to tell me, when you filled out the dream sheet, and they're going to send you to North Dakota, and the only thing between North Dakota and the North Pole is a barbed wire fence, and it's down.
That's right.
Yeah. But, so you went to South Dakota.
Yep.
Yeah.
Ellsworth Air Force Base.
What did you do there?
I was in the Air Police to begin with.
Oh, Air Police?
I was in the Air Police.
Oh, okay.
And I stayed with that for quite some time, and then I transferred. I became a chaplain's assistant.
Oh, that's right, because I saw on your paperwork you were a chaplain.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, I had several chaplains on my show.
Did you?
I had a friend of mine who recently passed. He was a chaplain. I learned a lot about chaplains.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of people don't know that you could be a chaplain of any branch, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and after you go, well, I'll let you say, but after you go to the chaplain school, that's when you find out where you're going to go, right?
Well, see, I was the administrative person. I was not a chaplain myself.
Oh, okay.
I worked for three chaplains: the Catholic, Protestant, and Jewish chaplains. But I got very familiar with, serving them and working with other people. And so today here in this facility, I'm what's called a prayer ambassador. So I pray for people here, people who come here. And so I never had any official schooling in that area, but I love the Lord. So
Yeah, well, good for you. Thank you. We need people like you.
that's where that comes
You
from.
know, yeah, I like I said, I've known of several chaplains. Two of them, well, all three of them were Vietnam chaplains.
Yeah.
And of course, you must know of the four chaplains. You know that story?
I don't know the story.
No? World War II, the four chaplains?
Well, never heard it.
It's a very famous date in history where the Germans sank the ship, and the ship was going down. They didn't have enough life jackets and everything, so there were four chaplains. They got on the deck of the ship and they held hands with the others, and they went down with the ship.
Wow.
And every year there's the four chaplains ceremony. My Legion post in Connecticut is David S. Miles, and we recognize the four chaplains. He was on that same ship that went down.
Is that right?
Yeah, I don't remember the name of the ship right now, but the four chaplains, quite a thing. So, but did you get to go with the chaplains anywhere in the country, or you?
No, like I said, beginning I was with the Air Police, okay, and that's where I transferred into the Chaplains Corps.
Yeah.
But while I was in the Air Police, I did have connections with the chaplains, and then when I got into the Chaplains Corps, no, I never traveled with them. I was an administrator there, but I had a lot of interesting situations. During that time, you mentioned about the KC-135 crashing in Seattle, Washington.
Yeah.
You mentioned that.
Well, yeah.
I think you did anyway. But yeah, I was there during that time, and I was supposed to be on that flight. 53 of my buddies were killed in that crash on that KC-135, and that really was.
You know what's something ironic? You're sitting here talking to a guy who got bumped off an airplane, and it crashed in Wake Island, and we lost 11 guys. 2 of them I worked with.
Oh.
Yeah, I got bumped off at the last minute because somebody had a medical emergency.
Oh, be darned.
You know,
Yeah,
it's a small world, isn't
It's
it?
devastating. It really is.
Yeah.
And then also during that time, I was hospitalized and paralyzed. I could not walk. I had trouble even talking. And I was in the hospital, Air Force Hospital, for quite some time. And I got better. And
Did you have a stroke? or-
continue. I don't remember now exactly what it was, but anyway, continued with my career, and my Air Force time was spent either as a chaplain's assistant or the Air Police.
Now, how long were you the chaplain's assistant? What years?
Well, let's see. I went in '60, so and that I was with the Air Police, and that had to be probably about 3 years, and then 3 years on afterwards, I was with the Chaplains Corps.
Yeah, and how many years was the chaplain?
Probably about another 4 years, maybe. Yeah,
So you got about did you get out of 67 in 1967?
somewhere. Yeah, around there.
Yeah, so you got Vietnam was really heating up then.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
very much so. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
these chaplains that I talked to were all there in Vietnam,
yeah.
and yeah, they're amazing, you know, because a lot of young people don't know about with chaplains. They go out into the field and everything. They do not carry a weapon,
That's right.
but they have a guy that goes with them, right?
Yep.
And this one guy I know, he lost the one chaplain. Boy, I wish I should have done my homework. But he lost a leg and he's hard of hearing, and the chaplain school's named after him. I haven't seen him in years, but he kept running back and forth, bringing wounded back. And then finally, something happened, and the soldier that was with him threw his body on top of the chaplain to protect him. You know, chaplains are amazing, aren't they?
They are, very
I mean,
much so. And of course, I worked with the Protestant, Catholic, and Jewish, so I had a lot of different perspectives. So those three areas. Just a kind of a cute little runoff story. In the chapel, because of the Protestant Catholic, I had to go up and we had to draw the cross, you know, either the plain cross or the Jewish crucifix. Mm-hmm. So I'm up there one morning doing my thing, and I'm going like this, and I go out the door. Well, it was a Protestant service with a Catholic crucifix up there, so that was interesting.
So, yeah, you probably heard about it, huh?
Huh?
You heard about it.
I heard about it, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, and then I met my wife in the Air Force. When I left there and went to L.G. Hanscom Field, and she was my boss. And,
She was your boss?
She was my boss.
She's still your boss?
No, she died.
She was your boss.
She was we married, but she passed.
Oh, I'm sorry for your loss.
But anyway, so we met in the service, and back then they wouldn't let us live on base because I was enlisted and she was, an officer. So.
Was she a nurse or what was she?
No, she was an administrator of, I forget what section it was now. But anyway, we had to move off base and live off base in Boston, and that's when I went to Boston University, by the way.
Well, that's such a bad deal. I mean, they paid for your housing, right?
Yeah, there you go. But right now, I'm glad you're doing the interview because I'm losing some of my faculties, and
that happens.
No, because of being an older person. So, yeah.
So you guys lived off base. That was good.
Yeah.
How many years did you say you did in the service?
Oh, let's see. I'm not totally sure, to be honest with you.
So you went in and you said what, 63?
Yeah.
And when did you get out?
It's probably about 7 years, maybe.
About 7 years? Yeah. Well, usually somebody stays in 7, they go for the 20.
Yeah.
No. You weren't interested.
No, I had a number of physical things happen.
Oh, okay.
To me, and even now I'm still, I walk with a cane and so forth.
Yeah, I want you to grab that cane because it is a beauty, and when you showed it to me, I said Oscar.
Oscar.
You said Oscar. So I'm going to make sure that Oscar's watching this because he's on my YouTube too.
Okay.
His shop and everything.
Yeah.
But talk a little bit about it.
Well, Oscar came here to Osprey Lodge, and there was a group, we assembled a group of us military people, and he came in and he had a whole bunch of different samples of canes there, and explained what he did, and I thought, oh my God, how am I going to pay for something like this? This looks real expensive stuff, So I looked them over and I found this particular one, which is a weeping willow. And this one here that he made for me was number 544. And I thought it was pretty beautiful, and I love it now. He also puts the date. Oh, you asked about service. He puts the date on here. I got out in 19... Can you see it? I can't. I got bad eyes, too.
No. My glasses are
anyway,
my glasses are over there.
Yeah, anyway.
But Oscar does that, and that's a penny that's on this cane. I don't know if you can get a close-up on that. But this is a penny that's on there, and that's the year you went into service, right?
That's the year.
Oh, you got out? One of those. That's the year you got out.
I'm not sure.
I'm not sure either. But I know he does. He asks what year you were in or whatever, and he puts a penny there on every one of those canes.
Right.
So.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
then I have a buddy here who gave me.
We have the Air Force logo
Force
up the
logo.
top. Yeah, it's a beauty. It's a
Yeah.
beauty. Oscar does fantastic work.
Yes, he does.
We did a road trip. We went up to, because I do most of my shows in Leesburg, or actually Okahumpka, at the Eagles. They allow me to have a set there, and we film most of our shows there. Once in a while, we go on the road.
Yeah.
And we went to Oscar's house and his shop. In fact, he was just in the newspaper the other day, all the Christmas trees he got. He gets them, the town gives him all these Christmas trees, and he cuts them all down and takes the bark off, and he makes canes.
Yeah.
And he doesn't make any money doing it. It's a labor of love. He was a Navy veteran, and
He sure was.
yeah. But yeah, I got to tell you a little joke.
Okay.
When I first met Oscar, somebody went, Bob, Oscar. So I started the show, and I says, I'd like to introduce Bob Oscar. He goes, my name is not Bob Oscar, my name is Oscar.
Okay.
So every once in a while when I see him, I say, hey, Bob. You know, it's funny, I thought.
Yeah.
But he's a tremendous guy, and he has made quite a few of those canes. Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
But so when you were in the air police,
Yes.
you didn't volunteer for the air police, did you? Or
Yes,
did
I
you?
did.
You did?
Yes. Yeah, I had been, before I went into the service, I had been a deputy sheriff. So I knew a lot about police.
Wow.
And so forth. So I volunteered, and I enjoyed it immensely, but had a lot of interesting things, some of which I can't talk about, of course.
Yeah, we're a family show.
Yeah, we're a family show, so we won't talk about those. But one thing, Curtis LeMay, you know Curtis LeMay, right?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm a young guy at the gate, and his entourage pulls up, and I stop him, and I said, excuse me, General, you're going to have to show your ID here. What? Show my ID? I said, yes, sir. I said, I was trained by this Air Force, and they told me, doesn't matter whether you're a general or whatever the heck you are, you gotta show your ID. Holy mackerel, I'm in trouble now.
Yeah, I don't know if that was a career move.
Yeah, so anyway, he says, okay, let's just stop it right here. He says, young man, I know you're new to the military. Well, I want you to know that I respect you immensely for challenging me at this gate and wanting to see my ID. And I thought I was going to end up in jail or something.
Yeah.
So that was a neat experience with him. I was in Strategic Air Command at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what other fun times did you have at the air police? Did you?
Well, some of them I can't talk about, but I don't remember right now. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's all right. That's all right. But how did you transition from air police into the
Chaplain Corps.
chaplain's corps? Obviously, you're a religious person,
Yes, sir, I am.
and I know that had to play a part in it.
Right.
But what made you decide, and chaplain's corps? A lot of people don't even know about the chaplain's corps,
Yeah.
But
Well, like I said, when I was in the air police, that's the time that I went into the hospital, and I had chaplains come in and deal with me while I was very ill and so forth. And then I also had a chaplain's buddy that I was close to, and I really got interested in that. In my walk through my life as a child, my father was Catholic, my mother was Protestant, and I had a lot of Jewish friends as well. And so I got to respect all three of those religions, and particularly because we're all worshiping the same God.
that's true. Yeah.
And so I really got interested in, and I was going to wanted to become a chaplain, but That was later on in life, and I said, no, I'll just, so I learned a great deal by these three men who served in different faiths, and I learned a lot about their faiths, so it was very interesting.
Yeah, and I'm sure they told you about some of their experiences
They
being
have.
with the chaplain corps.
Yeah.
You know, I'll tell you, my friend who, Bob Haynes, was chaplain, he was in every branch of the service except the Coast Guard, and his daughter is now in the Coast Guard. So the family has covered it all, and he used to write for the newspaper, Chap's Corner and all that, the Daily Commercial, and he'd come on the radio with me once in a while. I used to, well, maybe I'm still doing it, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
1410 The Q, AM FM radio.
Okay.
Yeah, and a good friend of mine, James Floyd, runs a great race radio station that does a lot for people. So, yeah.
Well, my granddaughter right now is going into the Air Force Academy because of me.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
It's going into the academy.
The academy. Yeah.
Wow.
Yes.
Good for him.
Her.
Oh, her.
Her.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, good for her,
So,
We do a lot of shows, too, with lady veterans, and we work with, like, Villagers for Veterans who are putting in a transitional housing for women veterans who are coming out of the military
yeah.
to get back to what we used to call the real world,
Yeah.
and to help them get, because you're in the service for like 20 years, 30, and you come out and you don't have that house to go to or the barracks to go to anymore, the chow hall and this and that. Now it's a whole different
A
world,
whole different world.
and so they're doing that. We've had quite a few lady veterans on our show, but when you talk about ladies in the service now, boy, they do everything. It's 2019, they're in combat all over the place. They're flying jets,
Oh, yeah.
you name it,
Yeah.
So, as they say, you came a long way, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There we go.
I wish her a lot of luck. And then maybe when she gets out of the academy, if she's around this way, she can come out Central Florida to salute you too.
Okay. Well, if I'm still alive.
Oh, you'll be here.
Yeah.
You'll be here. You got a job to do here. So, what did you do as a chaplain's assistant?
Okay, basically a lot of administrative stuff, but I also assisted the chaplains if there were funerals or if there were special occasions like holidays and so on and so forth. And I also stepped in for the chaplains. Yeah, I assisted Catholic chaplains. Because my father was Catholic, I even assisted at the altar times with communion, that type of thing. But whatever way they wanted me to help them, or whatever I was available to do so. But it was mainly an administrative position for all three chaplains.
Yeah. What about graveyard burials? Did you?
Sometimes.
Yeah. I think chaplains play a big part. If when you're overseas and you're kind of like lonely or whatever, or if you got, they're there for you.
They are. They are. Very much.
So.
In fact, I had to be there for one particular chaplain. He was the new guy that started out with us. I won't use any names, but this was an interesting situation. He was going off to chaplain school.
Mm-hmm.
It's tricks. So anyway, I get a call and talk to him. And I said, Father, you're supposed to be back here. What's going on? Oh, Dan. He said, I met this wonderful lady. And I'm really falling in love. And I said, Father, listen to me. Are you sure you're falling in love? Yes. I said, please come back. I said, you are a good shepherd for our flock here. He said, I'm not coming back, and I would like you to continue to take care of things until they get somebody else to replace me. He never came back.
Well, those things
Well,
happen.
what they do? But I'm saying I've experienced all kinds of different things like that.
Yeah,
You know, so it's, but you know, those things happen.
Yeah.
So it's part of my job as well to deal with those.
Yeah.
And then I had a Jewish chaplain that vibed a little bit too much. So.
That happens
Well,
too.
it does, yeah. Well, that's why I'm mentioning.
No, we're all human. That's
We're all
you know.
human, exactly, and
Yeah.
so forth. But anyway, I don't know if you're interested. After the service, I went to work for the American Cancer Society.
Oh,
And I
okay.
was with them for 25 years. I just retired not too long ago. And so I've had an opportunity to raise a lot of money for them, in fact, millions of dollars.
Wow, great.
Met a lot of celebrities. And, in fact, I've got pictures in my room of all the different ones.
Oh,
We've got a story about Miss Kitty we won't talk about here because that's not what we're here for. But it was a very interesting situation with her.
yeah. You know,
John Forsythe, I can mention a whole bunch of
Oh,
different ones. Yeah.
you're going to drop a few more names.
No, I'm not going to drop any more. I just want you to know that
Well, now you can say you met Bob Peters. Bob.
I am going to tell people.
Yeah, hey, buddy. But you know, I got to tell you a little story. And I went into service in 1967.
Okay.
I still have the card that the chaplain sent to my mother when I was in basic training, and saying I talked to your son and this and that. Because the chaplain would always interview anybody who
Sure.
came in,
Yeah.
and let them know that I'm here for you.
Yeah.
And I still have that card from 1967.
Wow, that's something
Yeah.
else.
Of course, I guess I'm a pack rat. You know, I mean, I got a lot of stuff, memorabilia stuff.
Memorabilia.
Yeah. I appreciate what you've done and what you're doing. I know the people here do, and keep it up. To all our veterans out there, active military and their families, we salute you for all you do. Till next time.